Fantasy fans getting another polished AAA game. Total War, Warhammer 3. Hog. 40k fans getting another cash grab mobile game. Warhammer, Lost Crusade. Pain. Tech enthusiasts, my entire house is smart. Tech workers, the only piece of technology in my house is a printer, and I keep a gun next to it, so I can shoot it if it makes a noise I don't recognize. Hello vegans, if pigs are so smart, why do 66% of them build houses with ineffective stupid materials? Henry Cavill's 40k series is just him narrating story element between playing the tabletop game with friends. The man hustled Amazon. You missed the point by idolizing them starter pack. POV, you just tried to seduce a Slanesh cultist to stop her from killing you. Oh, is that how it is? Yeah, okay, I feel that. I like you too. Neat. Still going to kill you. But now we can both enjoy a mutual romantic subtext to the mid-ear. Necrons imprisoning a Kirtan. Humanity imprisoning a Kirtan. Bring it, Butch. My parents at age 27. Let's have a baby. Yes, me at age 27. Today I'm going to argue about obscure Warhammer lore with strangers on the internet. You can't do it freehand. I can, and I will. This isn't a time for showing off. Strange. I think we can all agree that a battlefield style 40k game would be ducking awesome. My model is great plastic. My model after I prime it. My model after I paint it. You have 15 minutes to prepare a lecture to 5,000 people about anything. What would your topic be? Why? Well, they dropped this lecture on me with only 15 minutes to prepare, so I'm afraid you sorry bastards are going to have to sit through a detailed exploration of the deep history of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. So, the first thing to understand is that our universe is paired with a second universe made of pure energy. I've cheated to lose. Played in a tournament, already ranked very low with no chance of placing top 3. Last game was against a kid who played his first tournament. He had also lost every game. Cheated my ace off, so he would have at least one fun experience at the tournament. He totally tabled me and left with a smile. Worth it. Carefully, he's a hero. I have never kissed a boy, and at this point I'm afraid to. What if he tries to teach me about Warhammer 40k? What? You really thought that, because you are a bio-enhanced superhuman walking tank touched by the ruinous powers, I wouldn't charge straight at you with my shuffle? Think heretic, think. Ultramarines Mr. Bond. How utterly predictable. I cast dash jump and put my 30 orc boys directly behind your lines. Now, will you save your reserves? Or put your tanks at the mercy of my stomper? Wag, Mr. Bond. Young man, here's some dad advice. Do you play fighting video games? Instead, join a jiu-jitsu or boxing gym. Call of Duty? Walk down and enlist as a marine. Sports games? Go outside and play sports with people. Don't be a thumb warrior. Do it for real, like your grandpa did. People's reaction when I play 40k games and finish beating a heretic to death with a shovel in real life. Imagine being that word bearer, like you've been alive for 10k years, a literal champion of chaos, and some ducking titanium Baldalizian comes charging you, screaming his ducking lungs off, holding a primed melter grenade. Okay, so Warhammer is set in the year 40k, 10k years after the Horus years. Okay, so the Horus heresy happened when half of the Primarchs betrayed humanity. Okay, see, the Primarchs were basically superhuman demigods created in a lab by the Emp. Okay, listen, so the Emperor was 40k community seeing that Angron can kill an average of 30 guardsmen every turn. Guard players knowing they only need to sacrifice 180 guardsmen to keep Angron occupied for 6 turns. Elder can consider humans under evolved monkeys unworthy of their attention, but still be concerned about space marines for roughly the same reason you'd be concerned if a gorilla in full plate burst into your apartment waving a shotgun around. You see a warehouse in the distance. Is that like a werewolf? But instead of a wolf they turn into a house. It is now. You guys are underleveled and overducked. Hey, and you have Lion to thank for me explaining the lore of all my minis and what each of the characters is from. My girlfriend asking which one is the horse from the horse heresy. Yes, blood for the blood god and all, but when you think about it, why would the blood god want blood? I mean, they're the blood god. Presumably they already have blood. You're giving them the one thing that by definition they already have in great supply. I don't think you end up the blood god by saying yeah, that seems like a reasonable amount of blood. YouTube channel restored. I was about to lose hope, but YouTube came through in the end, woohoo. Thank you to everyone for the support. The community's response has been amazing. Now let's celebrate with some part 5 vignettes. Oh, don't tell me. We are about to get overrun by demons. Yep, if they don't kill us, the Inquisition will. Taint of chaos and all that. Most likely. Bring it on. Why do we have to fight for mere mortals? We are wasting our true potential. Duck this. Let's give ourselves to the ruinous powers. The planet is literally falling apart. You will stand your ground in the name of the Emperor. Yes. Warhammer fans, when their PC is slow. It's okay, machine spirit. You go when you feel like it. Most of our demons are Necron shaped. What? The Necronti race predate all other species, with the exception of the old ones who likely look nothing like them. So the original Necronti form, upright bipedal with head, 2 arms, 2 legs, must have been copied or co-opted by the old ones to create their highly psychic, mortal servant species like the Orcs, Elder, and others, the same species who stirred the warp for millions of years, leading to a feedback loop of warp demons taking on similar forms to them as that's how their emotions expect them to look. Con. What the duck are you talking about? A member of the Adeptus Custodes. In basically any combat situation, you are surrounded. All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. The Adeptus Custodes preparing to investigate a potential security breach in the winding, narrow palace ducts. Lunch Mistress Doria, have we got any grease? Yes we do. Then grease me up, woman. Okie dokie. The machine spirit of the Landraderines might after the destruction of the Crimson Fist's Fortress Monastery. I'm here to kick ace and protect my chapter brothers. And I'm all out of chapter brothers. The Emperor couldn't drink milk. What? The Emperor was born in 8000 BC. The mutation to digest milk is only 6000 years old. Jess, what the duck are you talking about? Certain aspects of 40k have very obvious parallels with real life history. I think discussing them can provide perspective and makes the universe more interesting. Stop forcing politics in my apolitical hobby. Your minis literally have iron crosses and Stahlhelms on them. Capital of human faction in average sci-fi series, USA, UK, Japan. Capital of the human faction in Warhammer 40k, Nepal. Elder scientists discovering that the Emperor managed to recreate a brand new section of the old one's webway. This Mons K was able to build this in a cave, with a box of scraps. Enjoying reading Warhammer lore for the first time. Noticing the scroll bar hasn't moved in 10 paragraphs. Wait, you paint and play with little toys. It's called Warhammer, Graham. And yes, somewhere in the warp during the events of the bolt gun game. You're absolutely sure he's not one of yours? Reasonably. The Total War gameplay formula does not fit 40k. Stop asking for it. Warhammer has some really fantastical races, like the Aztecs but they're lizards. Warhammer, lizard men. The Egyptians but they're skeletons. Warhammer, Tombkins. The French but they're humans. Warhammer, Britannia. Primarch Robert Gillivan, after crusading across half the galaxy to reach Terra, only to find how obtuse and uncooperative the High Lords are. I expect nothing, and I'm still let down. With the amount of wax used for purity seals, there must be hundreds of worlds in the Imperium, dedicated entirely to bees. Shut up. The Emperor of Mankind and his custodian guard exit the Imperial Palace to do battle with the forces of the War Master, Horus. This statue of Jesus in Poland provides internet to nearby villages. Should the Astronomicon go out, the Imperium would be plunged into a new age of strife. Love 3D printing Warhammer or hate it, we can all agree they make great names to avoid copyright. Draw Warhammer wafers. Build core audience. Get popular. Get noticed by Games Workshop Group. They issue copyright strikes. Livelihood is ruined. Online career destroyed. However, in doing so, they've made what I draw as canon. You now canonically have big titty tech priest mommies and cutie elder. I'm playing the long con for you guys. This is the true long war. Oh Lemon Russ of the Lake, what is your wisdom? That the lion can shut talk my son's behavior all he wants, but it still won't change the fact that half my legion didn't turn traitor first chance it got. Hey Skit, why do you always wear that mask? Let's keep this on. Character concept. Two people who have been reincarnated for thousands of years and have always found each other, but instead of being in love they just ducking hate each other. Dawn. Have the bulk Templars received their copies of the Codex Astartes? Oh right, the Codex. The Codex from Girly Man. The Codex limiting our chapter to 1,000 Marines. Rowboats Codex. Barges into the Conqueror's command bridge. Reprimands Primarch Angren for mistakenly referring to the Conqueror as his ship. Refuses to elaborate further. Leaves. I finally found it. After 15 years. The Scroll of Truth. If we ever get a 10K TV show, that will be written by people who have never heard of 40K before being hired and who openly hate the source material. Nia. Primarch Roggledorn, at the beginning of the Horus Heresy, planning the fortification of Terra's defenses. Give me all the Recretan menials you have. Wait. I'm worried what you just heard is, give me a lot of Recretan menials. What I said was, give me all the Recretan menials you have. Do you understand? Breaking news. Half of new Amazon show's budget already spent on miniatures. I had to make sure everyone on set had at least enough points for combat patrol. Henry Cavill. Shout out to that one gigachad Imperial fist who saw ducking Horus wandering alone on the battlefield and thought bet. Guardsman. Listen. I don't care if it was the size of a house. I shot it 6 times. You only once. It's my kill, not yours. Stop giving me your toughest battles. But you are my Imperium's greatest hero. Give me harder battles. What the duck? Games Workshop. Elder players who haven't seen an update since Bill Clinton was president. Games Workshop. Girls. Isn't it weird how we have so many more sisters than Astartes? Yeah, crazy, right? Boys, let's have our recruits drink blood and sleep in a coffin for a year. Yes, and let's make them walk miles barefoot in the snow. Cause I really wanna stay at your house. Screech. And I hope this works out. Click. The other 3 Chaos Gods. Con. Why do you keep a demon world for no reason, except to resurrect a bunch of orcs over and over again? Con. I just think they are neat. The Games Workshop Group Store Manager. Other players. Grimdank. Games Workshop Group. Me coming to the store with Legos painted with Citadel. You play Space Marines because you like big strong men in power armor. I play Space Marines because I'm xenophobic. We are not the same. You know Jimmy Carter only served 1 term. He could run again. When the Plague Lord class Titan steps around the hab bulk and all you have are some spicy flashlights. For the Emperor. Yes Rico, for the Emperor. The Emperor oppressively outlaws all religions and faiths to replace them with a secular imperial truth. The Martian Mechanicum worships the Emperor as an avatar of the Omniscia. The Emperor. I'll allow it. There are no good guys in 40k. Bullshit. The Imperium are clearly the good guys. Tell that to the trillions worked to dealt in sunless hive cities, or the sickers sacrificed to the corpse god every day. The Imperium is fighting for the literal survival of the species. So duck yes, they are the good guys. Oh well, then I guess the Tyranids are good guys too because they are just a galactic apex predator feeding on worlds to survive. Exterminatus. You ducking heretic. Alright, so everything in this millennium is ducked. What even is a date? I believe that would be heresy, Primarch. Excuse you? The subject of the current imperial standard date is heresy. The inquisitorial Lord O'Cronos is having an entire civil war over it. The ducking what? Sororitas Canoness, to nourish you for your heresy, you will be sent to battle almost completely naked, while being whipped by your sisters. The Slaaneshi demon possessing the Sister Repentia. Space Force wants ideas in good taste on what it should call its members. Rebreathing intensifies. Adepta Sororitas Canoness reviewing armored vehicle requisition options for her church order militant. Bullshit. Bullshit. That I love. I absolutely love. A member of the Aquilan Shield, on mission as part of their enigmatic plan to protect those specific individuals deemed important to the Imperial Tarot. I don't understand. I have my ration card right here. I come here every week. Look, lady, new rule. No addendum papers, no ration stipend. Now beat it. Don't make me call the arbit. Thank you, dearie. Mrs. Big Jones will be receiving her weekly stipend. I'm once again asking you guys not to compare the Ukrainian soldiers currently fighting to the fictional Imperial Guard. When the world the Inquisitor was sent to investigate is fully compliant, its governor is exceedingly competent, and has timely paid, or even exceeded its imperial tithe for the last 2 millennia. Those duckers are up to something. Will I ever be as good as the old masters? Will I ever be as good as the old masters? Will I ever be as good as the old masters? I'm the best. An Imperial expedition into an inactive tomb world discovers a semi-dormant Necron Lord. Is it the time of the awakening yet? No? Then duck it off. Senior Watercast Ambassador lecturing junior tour diplomats on the Imperium's internal political structure. A representation of Malkador the Sigillite's brief time on the throne, while the Emperor departs to duel Horus. I'm the Primarch of the 1st Legion. What are you? I'm an orc. Cool. We can be friends until Angren is dead. After that it gets difficult. Still counts as 100% Games Workshop group plastic, right? I know nothing about 40k, but my husband knows everything. What's some shit I could say to pass him off? Not knowing the law and writing an accurate fanfiction. Learning the law to write law-adherent fanfiction. Learning the law, disregarding it, and writing an accurate fanfiction. Poor predictable corn. Always chooses melee. Good ol' melee. Nothing beats that. Senior Adepta Sororitas Canoness gives a visiting Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor a tour of her parish's extensive heretic burning pyres. Impossible. Dom, you came in our hour of greatest need. You should know by now, the streets always got your back, Biggie. Now let's teach that little butch Horus a thing or two about family. A gang of boys crash land in the last video game you played. How much of a zoggin' good time do they have? Good aligned playthroughs in RPGs. I finished killing the bad guys for you. No, keep your money. I'm just glad to be helpful to people in need. Good aligned playthroughs in Rogue Trader. My lord, your thousands of sleeves below deck have started to complain about the beatings they received from your guards. Put dogs in their food. They are not called Dark Elder anymore, dad. I'll be deep in the cold ground before I recognize Drukhari. Games Workshop have decided to copyright claim my video, so I earn nothing from it. All visual and audio assets of Warhammer Plus content are obviously copyright of Games Workshop plc. They have been reproduced here at a far lower resolution than the originals, and in small snippets. This sort of contextual use should be protected by education, review, and fair use exemptions in existing copyright law. The actual Imperium of Man. I care not about your sexuality, gender, or race. You will all feed the Imperial machine. Grimdank Imperium fans right now. Please no, make TV show political. You will be sent to Raven Guard. What? Tour Commander engaging Adeptus Mechanicus forces for the first time, and wondering why that strange pointy mountain in the distance is getting closer. Kunk on Warhammer 40,000. Warhammer 40,000 was released in 1987, though its themes from the late 80s have remained relevant to this day. Themes like the permanent escalation and mobilization leading to disaster and a self-perpetuation of crisis. And if it's possible to be such a massive cucumber that it gives you superpowers. How I imagine the Primaris rollout went with Space Marine chapters cut off from outside news. Primarch Gilliman lives. I give you your chapter's total current strength and reinforcement. Here is the means to make more. Don't. Duck up. What? Archival footage of the start of the Emperor's Human Webway project. Welcome to the Webway. Please enjoy your stay. My armor is contempt. My shield is disgust. My sword is hatred. Games Workshop. Buy out content creators. Games Workshop. Lock them behind the paywall. Games Workshop. Everyone pirates it. Games Workshop. Everyone pirates it. After completing the conquest of Terra, the Emperor unveils his plan to create 20 bioengineered, half-warp, super generals from his own DNA. Games Workshop Group's statement was unnecessary. I've never experienced any prejudice in the hobby, so it clearly doesn't exist. SJWs are ruining the hobby by pointing out bigotry. This discussion is preventing me from enjoying the game. Wizards of the Coast. Games Workshop Group. Wizards of the Coast. I sent the pink curtains after a YouTuber and his family. Games Workshop Group. Dude, what the duck? Rob out Gilliman. We must restrict the size of legions to just 1,000 marines, so that no single man can command too much military power. Also rob out Gilliman. Behold my stuff.